Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Community. I've got Maria here.
Hello.
So I love this topic that we're going to talk about today because I did an episode on this 3 years ago when the podcast started.
Wow.
Yeah, and people still download it today. And I was like, this needs a revamp. But it's about email marketing.
Here we are with the revamp.
The revamp. We love email marketing.
We love email marketing.
You know what, though? We didn't always love email marketing.
No, that's why I stuttered when I said that. I was like, do we? Actually, we do now. But no, we didn't always love it.
Yeah, because at the beginning, it was just firstly, the wheels were not on the bus at the beginning. So we were the emails were the last thing we were worried about. And then we did a program with Amanda, Monarch and Co. Amanda, and we were like, oh shit, we should probably have an email list. We're meeting all these people and we're doing all these things and then not funneling anyone to anything. Oh no. And then we got our shit together. We made an email.
Yeah, the struggle was real at the beginning. We just had so much going on. I think we were both a little burnt out. And I think at the beginning, it's so hard to prioritize and feel like you can understand what's the most important thing. But I feel like it became quickly very apparent to us that we needed an email list.
Yeah.
And maybe we can talk about some of the reasons why.
Yeah. Okay, well, why do you think people need email lists?
Okay. I feel like the number one reason is it's a list you own.
Yep.
And so a lot of people these days are building their businesses on social, which is amazing, but
We love social.
We do love social, not knocking social. But you don't own your followers.
Yeah.
We were literally talking to a friend yesterday who was like, I had, how many followers did she have? I think 50,000 or maybe even more. And her account got hacked and deleted. Mm-hmm. Bye. There goes those 50,000 followers that you worked your whole life to accumulate. You know what I mean? Smell ya. That's literally terrifying. And we've had days where Instagram just doesn't work for the entire day. And we're are we shutting this business down or what's happening?
Toodles.
Goodbye. There goes all our hard work. But those moments just go to show you that you don't own your social media followers, right? And so. And she actually said to us, our friend, she's like, you would think that those people would try to find me elsewhere, try to find my new account, go to my website or no. She's like, they didn't. They were just gone.
There's just too many people. If you think about how many people you follow, they follow 1,000 people. I have no idea what all those people are up to. I can't keep track of it.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't even necessarily know if if their account got hacked and deleted. You might not even
know
notice.
if yours did, but otherwise.
Me for sure.
Yeah.
And it's common, right, for people's accounts to get hacked, whatever. We don't need to go into the depths of that. But the important thing to remember is just that you don't own those followers. You don't own that audience. So when you're funneling people over to an email list and building your email list, that is something you own. You will always have that no matter what platform you use. If you switch or one goes down or whatever it is, that will always be something that you own.
Yeah. That's a great one. The other thing, too, is that email has a high purchase rate, when you're selling things. So, when you're you've got a launch or something going on, email is such a great way for you to be connecting with people because people do buy from email more than from social. And, you're going right in their inbox. So think about it. We have, I don't know, I have 8,000 followers or 7,000 followers on Instagram, whatever that is. And are all of those people watching every single one of my stories? No, they are not, right?
No.
But every single one of the people on our email list is getting our email.
Yeah, 100%. So especially when we're promoting things, we'll put 10 social media posts out promoting things and people will not know that it's happening, that follow us religiously because maybe they missed it, maybe they scrolled past it, maybe it didn't show up in their algorithm that day, whatever the reason is, people don't see all of your posts. And even if they do, that might not actually register because of how quickly they're scrolling through stuff, right? When you're sending them an email, they're reading that.
Yeah.
They're at least reading the subject line if they're hopefully they're not just deleting it from there. But you're just right in front of their face and you're guaranteeing that they're seeing it.
Yeah, no, I love that. What do you think, we've been growing our email list for a few years now. Now we've been at this probably 3 years of us growing our email list. And it's probably not as big as people expect it to be honest. I think we've maybe 2,500 people on it.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And, which is a lot of people, actually. I don't know why I said it like that, but, I think people expect it to be, we've been at it. And we've been, it hasn't really been a huge priority of ours. Mostly because we don't have a ton of low-ticket offers.
Yes.
So because our services have been so high touch and, and we really only started sending out a weekly email probably about a year and a half ago kind of thing. The weekly snippet. You should subscribe. We'll leave the link in the show notes. It's so good. And Ben on our team has made it 10x.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I'm always so impressed with it. We give social media news. We, it's not a ton of promotion. We like do all these resources. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
But
blogs, updates. It's amazing.
yeah, we love this newsletter now. But it took us a while to kind of get to a point where we were doing something that we were really excited about with our email list and really growing it. And sometimes it can feel, I think, for people listening, maybe you have 80 people, maybe you've got 50, maybe you've got 100, and it can feel like a little like, why am I putting in all this effort? Even though, like, honestly, if you're serving 100 people and people are like opening it, amazing. Like if 10 people are opening your email, amazing. Like it's a great way to connect with people. But sometimes it can feel like, oh, it might make more sense to make a story, or it takes too much time or whatever. What are some ways do you think that people could grow their email lists?
Well, I think the first one that comes to mind is lead magnets.
Yes.
Which we've had a lot of fun with over the years.
Yeah.
Like, we started with our story starter guide, which we feel like we talked about that thing until like the cows came home. Like it was just kind of crazy how much we talked about it.
Because it was our only one. We're like, you need to talk on your stories. We'll teach you how. We'll teach you.
And we actually just recently revamped it and made it the Instagram story strategy kit.
Yeah.
And
I went on mat leave and all of the freebies got really intense names. Like I left for like one day and then I came back and everything was like, and now this is the LinkedIn Basics Lodge thing. And I was like, whoa, get it. LinkedIn starter pack.
Well, we should actually talk about why in this episode. But to bring it back, a lead magnet, which is essentially a free resource that you provide in exchange for someone's email. So they give you their name and email, they download the resource, and then you add them to your email list. So they can be a variety of different things, right? Like literally whatever you want. It could be like a challenge, videos, PDFs, booklets, like whatever. We even have a quiz.
Yeah. A quiz.
Our quiz is super fun. You guys got to go look at all our lead magnets after this because they did all just get a revamp and they're all super cool now. But I feel like this is one of the most natural ways to build your email list because it's kind of like the starting point for people, right? It's like the reason to join and it's your introduction to them. So we offer like a lot of value in our lead magnets because we want to build that great relationship with people. We want them to know that they can trust us and that we're experts and really showcase like what we got going on in there. Even though it's free, still building that value from the beginning, I think is really important.
Totally. Yeah, so lead magnets are a great one, and you mentioned a bunch of the different kinds, right? So people could do like a PDF. You really want to ask yourself, like, what does my ideal client need, and like, how can you add like value to them? So we've seen this before, where like people have built them in our membership, and then we're like, oh, that's actually like not for your ideal client. That's for like a competitor, like, or like that's for like another you, or like whatever. So you really want to be seeing what these people need, which actually was really helpful for us, we use Interact, which we love for quizzes. We'll leave a code in the show notes, but like it was a really easy way for us to build that out rather than we had a really labor intensive quiz before that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, there were like zaps and shit. Like it was like too much. So that really didn't probably make sense for us. But then our other lead magnets are based on high-performing podcast episodes. So it's like we're like, hey, our LinkedIn episode, everyone like is always asking for LinkedIn tips. So we made like a LinkedIn kind of like starter pack. Or we have another one. I don't know the official names of any of these, just so you know. I'm flying by the seam over here. But like another one is we have one about like growing your podcast downloads using social media. Because people always ask us like, how do you increase your podcast downloads? I've doubled mine this year. A lot of it has been the work that Ben's been doing on our social, right? And so that has been awesome. So I think that's another piece is like different types of lead magnets and see what works and what resonates with your audience. Another way that you can grow your email list is like online summits. So we not only hosted an online summit, which was great, a bit of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see
decent amount of work.
Decent amount of work. And we had some great learnings. We should actually do an episode about that, like about our learnings from hosting a summit. But I would say it's like not the highest reward on emails we've ever had, probably the way we did it. But we've also been in a bunch of summits where the reward has been significant on the amount of emails, but you need to make sure that you have a really strong sequence so that you're actually funneling these people into something. So that they're not just downloading your freebie and then moving on. It's like you want them to be part of your community. So like, what are you actually getting them into?
Yeah, I think it's important to think about that strategy from the beginning when you're designing the lead magnet too, because it should speak to the ideal client who at the end of your sequence, you're pitching them an offer.
Yeah.
Like, who do you want to be pitching that offer to, and what do they want out of a lead magnet? And even in terms of like length and will it work for them? And, you know, like we had a friend who asked me to review her lead magnet, and it was for burnt out entrepreneurs. And it was like, I think 90 pages or something. And I was like, burnt out entrepreneurs can't read 90 pages. So like, you know, like even though you might think that you have so much stuff to say and that's going to be so valuable for them, thinking about for them what is actually like their capacity and what is the most, you know, meaningful way for them to engage with that, I think is really important. And making that person be the same person who is your ideal client at the end of the email sequence that you're going to be like sending them an offer or a couple offers maybe.
And we actually like too, one of the things that we did really well with our quiz was like, we actually got a bunch of people to take it and give us feedback. And we adjusted the quiz before we went live with it publicly to their feedback. So like some people were like, okay, this question's confusing, or this doesn't make sense, or this is really helpful. And we were able to double down on some of that stuff. So really leveraging your audience is helpful too.
Yeah, totally. Do we want to talk about now why we revamped all these freebies?
Yeah, tell me.
So, okay, for the names, Story Starter Guide, for example. What is that?
Yeah.
You know? So I think like naming that, we talk about this all the time on social, but like don't use fancy, like complicated things that like sound cool, like that people don't know what they are. So I got multiple people telling me like, I don't know what a story starter guide is. Like, don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And so especially for us, like our ideal client with the lead magnets is someone who's kind of like getting started in social, isn't really well versed in the language, doesn't exactly know. So we renamed it to the Instagram Story Strategy Kit, putting the word Instagram in there, making it really clear what this is about. We also revamped it to make it a bit more holistic because originally it was basically just like prompts to like, here's what you can talk about on stories. That wasn't really enough for our ideal client, right? They're like, okay, these prompts are great, but like, how do I get more views? How do I get more engagement? Like, what's the, you know, bigger strategy behind this? Like, I'm not really understanding it. So I think, and we did, you know, create a bunch of new ones as well. So definitely go check out our lead magnets, guys. We put a lot of love into those. I think a couple things come up for me here, though. It's like when naming them, be really clear and specific. Think about what your ideal client's actually going to like type in to look for that, and think about what they want. The next thing is like design it with them in mind, but also never be afraid to like reiterate it based on their feedback. So we've done it different ways, right? Like with the quiz, we actually just like didn't even launch it before we got market research. So we just like asked a bunch of people to take it, did a bunch of market research. That's a great way to do it. You can also just like put it live into the world and then see what people say. So once people download it, you could even like send them a personal email and like ask for their thoughts, or if you have a relationship with them, or like just start to see what people are saying about it. Something we actually did early on too that I feel like really worked is we just made like 2 or 3 freebies and just put them on the website and like didn't promote any of them and just saw what got downloaded. Yeah. Like what did people like? And there was one that really just fell to the bottom of the list. And that was great information, right? We got rid of it. It was a quiz.
Oh, the old quiz, our very labor intensive quiz.
Yeah, it was our labor intensive old quiz.
Yeah.
And the question that it answered, people like didn't want the answer to that question. Like they didn't care. You know what I mean? So
which sucks because it was like, what platform should you be on or something? Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, no, we already know what platform we want to be on. We just like need tips on how to like navigate that platform, you know? So I think a lot of good lessons there, but I feel like all in all, like just be open to reiterating based on what your ideal client is, you know, how they're responding, like what feedback they're giving, the numbers, like the data of like, are they downloading it? Let's say you go participate in an online summit and they ask you for a lead magnet and you give them one and like there are 300 attendees and like one person downloads the lead magnet. Yeah. Like that might actually not even be about your lead magnet, but looking at everything as information, like holistically of like, where was the misalignment? What can I adjust? And continuing to have those conversations with your ideal client where you can learn what their pain points are and how you can address them in your lead magnets.
Love that. And you have to be talking about them often. That's another thing is a lot of people with like post a lead magnet and they're like, here it is. And one time, and it never, like, we kind of did that a little bit with the quiz. Like, we never really ever talked about the quiz. Now we're, like, obsessed with our quiz and we love it so much. But, like, before, it was kind of like, meh. Like, you know?
You can't assume that you're going to, like, post about something once and then people will just know about it forever. Like, that's just not the way things work.
100%. And so, just, like, a reminder, like, keep talking about it. Get that feedback from people. See what people think about it. But, yeah, just keep, like, talking about it. And another thing that we changed a little bit, too, is, like, you'll hear this in the outros of our new podcast, or our new outro is that I actually lead everybody towards lead magnets now. So it's like we talk about our lead magnets on the podcast often. We link them in the show notes, like really just doing that over and over again. When I go on other people's podcasts, I'm not like, well, if you need social media or podcasting, like be in touch. They might be in touch, but if I'm like, hey, we have this awesome guide on how to grow your podcast downloads using social, check it out, right? That has much more of a call to action. So really talking about it over and over again. And so we've used some of these strategies to grow our email list kind of over the last few months, which has been really successful. But like, there's lots of different things you can try, whether that be LinkedIn, whether that be Pinterest, like there's lots of different ways to grow your email list.
Yeah, totally. And I think see like what works for you, what resonates, what you have time and capacity for, and then also figuring out like where your ideal clients are hanging out. Like for us, our ideal clients are hanging out at summits. So summits work really well for us. But like maybe your ideal client's more on Pinterest, or, maybe they're more on LinkedIn or wherever that might be. Maybe they're listening to a podcast. But before we wrap up, I do think we should just briefly touch on what do you do once you have these emails? I think a big misconception is like you do not have to email these people every week. Like you do not have to. We send out the weekly snippet just because we love it, and there are social media news articles every week, and like things are changing all the time, and we have the capacity on our team to be sending out a weekly email. If you're like just getting started and the idea of a weekly email sounds absolutely terrifying for you, you by all means do not have to do that. You could send out a monthly email. You could send out a quarterly email. I think even just like collecting emails is better than doing nothing.
Totally, 100%.
If you even never sent them an email, like not never, but like at the bare minimum, start collecting those emails, get the list going, and then you can worry about the frequency of how often you contact these people later.
Yeah, 100%. And it can be whatever you want it to be. And like the only thing is like I will say, don't only email people to sell them.
Yes,
things.
Totally.
Like that is the big email no is like you want to be adding value. That's why we do the weekly snippet. Do you know how many times we've ever emailed? Actually, now I'm kind of like, we should actually probably do this. Like, we've never emailed being like new social media and podcast offerings, like book a discovery call. We've never done it. I actually don't even know if there's a call to action in the weekly snippet for people to book a discovery call. Is there?
I don't think so. We probably should send an email about our services.
Yeah, okay.
We're better about this on the High Vibe Women's side, but yeah, the social snippet.
We're like very coy marketers. We're like, you want to work with us? Like, work with us. But you don't want to work with us? But like, it really does speak to the fact we love to give free value, right?
Yeah.
So we're really like, Ben, when you listen to this, we're going to have to make some adjustments. But no, we love to just add value over and over again, right? So I think what's really important to keep in mind is like, you don't want to just be selling. You want to be adding value and really just like building community, because then when you do want to sell via your email, people aren't like having email fatigue. I know someone who's doing a launch right now and they're emailing like constantly, and it's taking everything in me not to be like, stop doing this.
Make it stop.
But anyway, we love email marketing. We want to do a really quick episode, but there's also a reason why we want to do this episode. So on November 28th, Flodesk, which is our preferred email provider, we've worked with them for literally years, since day one. We're OGs. Day one, and they've partnered with us on High Vibe Women in the past, which we're so grateful for, is changing their pricing model, which means that the way that they'll be actually pricing people, which is different, is that they're changing it from one price to price based on the amount of subscribers you have, which is pretty typical. You'll find that across the board. People are changing that. We love Flodesk, an all-woman team. Like, it's just, they're amazing. But until November 28th, they're locking in their price, and you can get 50% off your first year using the code Social Snippet. So if you're looking to, start your email, you might as well get in on this deal. Like, even if you're like, I'm going to send my first email in January, like, this is an amazing price. We've used Flodesk right from the beginning. We have a number of templates actually that you can download. They're High Vibe Women templates, but anybody could use them. We'll link them in the show notes as well. But like, we love Flodesk. Use the code Social Snippet for 50% off your first year, but that only works until November 28th, 2025. So we'd love for you to use the code, but and take advantage of it, because we're not switching platforms. We've never looked into it. Every once in a while, we're like, should we? No, and then we just stop.
No, when I was a VA, sorry to I don't like to talk bad about other brands, but like when I had to use ActiveCampaign, oh my God, the struggle was real. And MailChimp. There's so many, right?
So many.
Flodesk, if you're like, you want just beautiful looking, easy, quick emails, like they are the best. It's super intuitive. They're really easy to design. It's like plug and play. They're amazing.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Well, That's it on the email marketing front. We are so grateful that you're listening. Let us know if you're going to try it. Also, Flodesk has an amazing, amazing, amazing integration with Interact, the quiz platform. So, and it has all these new, like they have one with Thrivecart now, like all these awesome, awesome integrations. So if you have other systems pop in, yeah, it's so great.
Also, go check out our new lead magnets.
Okay, actually do the quiz and find out what social media personality you are, because there's a chance you could be me or Maria.
There is a chance. A 2 out of 5 chance.
Oh my God, can't wait. Or you could be, I can't remember any of the other people other than me, you, and Alex Hormozy.
I feel like, isn't Jessica Alba on there? Or did we make Ben take that out?
Was it Jessica Alba? I thought it was. Was it Jessica Alba?
I think it was, because I was like, wow, he's so young and he knows who Jessica Alba is.
Yeah, whenever we know the same people as any of our employees, we're like, wow, we're so hip. Well, there's only one way to find out if you're Jessica Alba, and it's at our quiz. So go take it. We'll leave it in the show notes and chat soon. Thanks for joining, Maria.
Bye.